2022 regular meeting of the Chino Valley Planning and Zoning Commission. I am going to say we have a quorum. Commissioner Somerville seems to be absent, but our alternate commissioner, Richard Zamudio, all right, is here with us. Thank you. Commissioner Pasiak, would you please, Vice Chair Pasiak, would you please lead us in the pledge? Okay, so we're going to go to item C, which is the consent calendar, which basically consists of the meetings, minutes for May 3rd and the April 5th training sessions. Anybody have anything on there? I had a couple of things on the minutes, but they're more in the way of questions than anything else. On the regular meeting, if I can find it. Okay, so on page 4, when I was visiting, I don't know if this is what I actually said or what I intended to say as a different case, but it says, in regards to the zoning cases when the properties are surrounded by residential, and what I thought I had said or intended to say was in regards to this zoning case when the property is surrounded by residential, because there was something said about how we could make the leap and go from industrial to residential there. So I don't know how we deal with that.
We can make that change as stated.
Okay. That would be great.
As stated with that change.
Okay, so.
And Tina also brought up one on page 5, change in the paragraph regarding Donna Armstrong's comment in the first line there, that the first line has guest house, it should be primary house rather than the guest house. It was used twice in that one sentence instead of the primary.
Oh, primary, correct, yep.
Okay.
Okay, so if we can get a motion to approve those minutes with those items amended as stated, that would be great.
I make a motion, we accept the minutes with the 2 corrections that were stated.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? And this includes the whole consent calendar. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So motion or item C is approved. Now we're going to go to item D, which is D1, which is TA 2022-08, a request to amend the Town of Chino Valley Unified Development Ordinance, Chapter 154, Chapter 4.21, sign regulations by deleting Section 4.21.10, sunset provision in its entirety.
Alrighty, good
Hey,
evening.
how are you doing?
Good, how are you guys?
Good.
Good. Alrighty, as read, this item is a text amendment to modify or essentially delete the auxiliary sign code sunset clause. If you remember, about 2 years ago in 2020, we went through the sign code rewrite for temporary, or now known as auxiliary signs, which are the feathered flags, the banners, the ones that we see up and down the highway. We had some deficiencies in our code. We rewrote it, and then as part of that rewrite included a sunset clause. So essentially, the code allowed a lot more leniencies for business owners to utilize these types of signs. That sunset code provision was intended to have the council re-review it in 2 years to make sure that nobody was abusing it or anything. The conclusion was that there has been no abuse. However, this was during COVID time, so it is what it is. Council is recommending that we do just remove the sunset code in its entirety. So the language in front of you here, section 4.21.10, is the sunset provision, and that proposed amendment is to just strike through it and remove it and let the business carry on as it has for the last 2 years. So with that being said, staff is recommending approval on this text amendment.
Does anybody on the commission have questions for town staff while Will is up there? Okay, Will, we may call you back
Sure.
up. It looks like you're good to go. We don't really have an applicant representative. That goes away. So what I think I'll do is open this portion of the meeting to public comment only on this item. If anybody in the audience would like to come up and speak, you'll feel free to do so. You got 3 minutes. Anybody like to come up and speak? I knew it. When I see you come in, I already know the answer to the question.
I'm Rachel Furno, Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners. I'm wondering about this ordinance, if it applies to like a particular topic I'm involved in and the signs that we've been put out in opposition. I mean, they're on residential property. We're not a business represented, but we've had them out in protest. So I'm just wondering, you know, I was kind of told before, as soon as your item's voted on, can you remove your signs, which obviously once it was voted on, we would do. But with the continuance, we've kept some signs out, and the combine came by and actually took out like 6 of our signs, which cost us money. We have to now redo those. So I'm just wondering how far this extends on sign usage.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Ma'am? If you'd like to speak, you're welcome to come to the microphone. Otherwise, we can't deal with you. Just come up here and state your name and ask the
Mary
question.
Seal. I was just wondering if we could put it back up so I could read it,
Yes, I believe Will could do that for you.
because I think that went up pretty fast, or went pretty fast. And
Well, we're trying to slide it through with
Thank
nobody
you.
knowing about it, like the
I
rest of the
know,
government.
we can't allow that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take your time. Please raise your hand when you read it, and we'll pull it down. Anybody else? All right, I'm going to close the public portion of the meeting for now. We'll just leave it up there for a bit while we're talking about other stuff. Will, could you please come up? I have a question for you.
Alrighty.
Does this affect the signs that she was describing?
Nope. This is specifically for auxiliary signage. Well, auxiliary signage is only pertinent or related to commercial businesses, and they're allowed, as long as they have a permanent sign, they're allowed 48 square feet of auxiliary signage per business. Specifically only to that. This is no governance over any residential property.
All right.
Also, I believe ARS statute has statutes for political signage.
Correct. Yeah. You're allowed something. There's certain square footage, certain things,
dates and whatnot. Yeah.
phone numbers you have to have on the back to call. Yeah. There's.
I think we went over that when we did the sign revision.
Yeah. It was a question that came up a couple times during that revision. And without a doubt, this does not affect that in any way, shape, or form.
Thank you, Commissioner Switzer, for bringing that up. Anybody else have any questions for Will while he's up there? Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Okay, so we've got public comment. We've had a question asked. I would entertain a motion for this subject at hand.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion I move to approve text amendment T 2022-08 as reflected in attachment A, subject to the staff report and information provided during this hearing.
We have a second?
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion on this item before we vote? All right, so all in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried unanimously. Awesome. Thank you. All right, so we're moving to item E, which is action items, which I believe we do not have any, according to my notes here. We do have one.
No, you're good. You're coming up for another thing.
I was gonna
Sorry.
fix you up quick. Okay, so we're done with that. Moving to item F, information items. Will, I believe this concerns the prior P and Z cases?
That is correct. Both items, the Langston rezone, which is that AR5 rezone on the southwest side of town between 2 south and 1 north. That one did get approved for the rezone from AR5 to SR2. And then the Jody Zito case, which was off of Granite Creek Lane, industrial to SR1, was approved as well by town council.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, F2 says commission. We don't really have anything for that tonight, do we?
Unless you guys have
Unless
something.
somebody up here's got something they want to talk about. Okay, information items from the public. Done with that. So now we come to the favorite item, which is item G, motion to adjourn this particular meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All, anybody opposed? We're done. Thank you. And we have a study session that will be coming up in just a bit
6:30.
at 6:30. So if anybody wants to stay, you're all welcome. And there'll probably be lots of information provided tonight on various items for our education. All right, thank you.